Hi, we're the Cowboy Brothers.
And this is Season 2, Episode 4, Stalker.
The world came back into light. As the sunlight pierced Sherbert's eyes, he felt a dull pain at the back of his head. It took him a second to realize he was on the ground. He sat up, and the pain intensified, causing Sherbert to groan in pain. He looked around in a daze, trying to remember what had happened. As he stood up, he seemed to be on a hill, and decided to walk to the top and get his bearings. Once at the top, he sees an abandoned house on the other side of the hill at the bottom. Everything comes rushing back to him.
Damn, what the heck hit me on the head? My truck looks to be gone, and so does the other vehicles as well.
Sherbert pats himself down to see what he still has on him, and notices he doesn't have his keys or his 38.
I wonder how long I've been out for. I better take a look around.
He makes his way down to the hill toward the house. As he approaches, his native tracking skills come into play, and he starts looking for clues. He sees the tracks of each vehicle heading away from the house back down the road. He notices the footprints coming from the house to where the cars were parked. He noticed another pair coming from a different direction, but it led to the house. He can tell someone was dragged from the house. Sherbert squats down to take a closer look.
Is there a second person that came to the house last night? But looks like they walked here from the road. Maybe they helped drive my truck away from here.
Sherbert walks to the house toward the window he peered into before. He sees it's empty now. Sherbert makes his way to the door. He turns the knob and steps in. The sound of the floorboards creaking echoes throughout the house. It's empty except for the random trash. He continues to search the house, looking for anything that might help out. Nothing still. He makes his way to the room he saw Edna in, and doesn't notice much, but something in the corner catches his eye. It's a brown bag rolled up. He walks over and opens the bag.
Am I dealing with the Sherbert strangler? This is what they said is left at the crime scene. Did I stop the killer for now? I wonder if my 38 is outside somewhere.
Sherbert walks back outside, looks around the window again to see if his 38 maybe went unnoticed. He sees it in the bushes under the window where he stood.
I'm so glad I found my old faithful.
Sherbert looks up to the sky in a sign of relief. He feels the hot sun on his face and decides he needs to head back down the road. He knows it's probably going to take him at least an hour. As he's walking down the road, he starts to reflect back on the previous night and what he found just now.
Who did the second set of tracks belong to? And where did they come from? Did the second set of tracks take my truck as well?
Just then, as he's walking down the road, he heard some noises from behind the bushes. Sherbert stopped dead in his tracks and looked toward the bushes. He pointed his 38 and slowly walked toward it. With each step, he got more and more nervous.
Who's there? Come out, or I'll shoot!
A prairie dog jumped out, and it looked at Sherbert, then ran across the road, paying no attention to him. Sherbert, with a sigh of relief, relaxed and lowered his 38. He decided to walk around the bush, and in doing so, he sees some tire tracks driving away. The tracks are fresh, and he decides to follow them. The tracks take him about 100 yards or so from the main road. He makes sure to keep his head on a swivel this time, so no one sneaks up on him. He walks around a hill, and the other side is his truck. Sherbert stops and takes a look around to make sure no one is near. Cautiously walking toward the truck, he notices whoever left it tried to cover it with bushes. The truck looks to be fine, just abandoned. Sherbert opens the driver's side door, can hear the beeping. The keys must still be in the ignition. Sherbert gets in, tries to start it, and to his surprise, it does. Sherbert clears the bushes covering it and turns the truck around to head back to the main road. Once back on the road, he decides to head to his office.
I wonder if Betty left me any new voicemails.
Sherbert pulls up to his office and heads in. Walking up to his door, he notices that it's cracked open. Sherbert grabs the doorknob and takes a breath. He rushes in and notices his office has been rummaged through. As Sherbert looks through, the only thing that seems to be missing is his favorite bottle of Garden Deluxe Select.
Oh man, not the good stuff. Why couldn't they take anything else?
Sherbert sits down at his desk and reaches into the drawer. He still has a small bottle of Garden Deluxe Bear.
Why didn't they take this one? It's the cheapest. Next time I hide the good stuff.
He sees the light on the phone is blinking, meaning he's got another message. He's hoping for some new leads as he pushes the button.
Hey Chad, you're expected to be at the Chatter House by 8 p.m. for the Tomahawk Bachelorette Party. Your ad in the yellow pages says you're bringing your own Don't be late.
What the heck? That's the third time this month. I wonder if he makes good money.
Sherbert deletes the voicemail and moves on to the next one.
Hello, Mr. Sherline, or Sherwin, or whatever. You need to return the disco with wolves immediately. And remember, be kind and rewind, or we'll suspend your membership. Okay, have a good day.
Dang, I don't want that.
Sherbert makes a note on his desk to get the video returned and clicks to the next voicemail.
Hey, Mr. Shirley, this is Joe. I am calling because I may have some information for you. There was this guy that also worked with us. His name is Otis. He also tried to go on a date with Edna, but was shot down. He also didn't take it well either. He was weird about it. He has an old black beaten-up truck. Hopefully that helps. Bye.
Sherbert gives it another listen because something doesn't add up.
Why did Joe say that this guy, Otis, didn't take it well either? Maybe Joe didn't take it well and he tried to change it how he responded. Is Otis even a real person? Wait a minute. Let me listen again.
Hey, Mr. Shirley,
Sherbert
this is Joe.
replayed it again,
I am
but
calling
this
'cause I
time he
may have
notices
some
that
information.
Joe's accent was gone.
There's this guy that
What's up with his accent? Could it be? I knew there was no Irish Navajo.
was shot down.
And he mentioned the vehicle he drives. That matches the same vehicle that Betty described when she saw her sister. That's oddly specific.
Sherbert thinks on it and pours himself another glass of Garden Deluxe Bear. He takes a big drink. He sets the glass down.
Those second tracks. Could it be Joe? He did run away from me at the bar, but he didn't know it was me that was asking, unless he already knows I'm a PI. And the accent, why pretend to be Irish? The voicemail claiming the other guy also didn't take it well, even though he said he joked about it. And the description is too specific to the car that Betty described.
The light is still blinking, so there must be one more voicemail.
Hey, babe. I left my rodeo buckle at your house last night. Keep an eye out for it. I don't want your house team to come across it.
Oh man, that's not good. Maybe Justine will contact me to follow his friend.
Sherbert shifts his focus back to Joe and his lies.
I need to find Joe.
Sherbert heads down to the local diner to get some coffee and breakfast. Maybe some food will do some good. While sitting there enjoying pancakes, in walks Joe.
Dang, this must be my lucky day.
He finishes his food and decides to get back into his truck and wait for Joe to leave and tail him. About 30 minutes later, Joe walks out and heads to his car. Joe pulls out of the parking lot and Sherbert follows him, but making sure to keep his distance. He pulls into the alley. Sherbert parked down the street and walked back to the alley he pulled into and peeked around the corner. He sees Joe talking to someone, but Sherbert can't see who because he can only see their backs. Sherbert tries to duck behind a dumpster that was closer, but in doing so, he kicks over some trash, making noise. Joe and the unknown person stop talking. Sherbert steps out from behind the dumpster, and the car was gone. He ran back to his truck to see if he can find Joe once again. Sherbert happened to pull up to the stoplight. Just then, Joe pulled up next to him and took a right. Sherbert quickly followed him. Joe pulled into a neighborhood, and Sherbert right behind him. Joe pulled into a driveway. Sherbert pulled in right behind him, blocking his car from backing out. Sherbert steps out of the truck.
Joe!
Joe looks startled and a bit nervous.
Oh, hey, Mr. Shirley. What are you doing here?
Oh, just following up on some things. I saw you at the light, and since you left me a voicemail, I thought I'd come ask you about, what's the name you said? Arthur, was it?
Yeah, Arthur. He worked with us, and he wanted a date with Edna.
Do you recall how long ago that was?
It was after we went on the date, but I don't remember.
By any chance, do you have his contact information or anything I can use to track him down?
No. Sorry I don't have any information, but on Monday he should be at work.
Alright, I guess I'll have to wait till Monday. Oh, also, one more thing.
Yes.
The name that you left was Otis, not Arthur. Also, where's your Irish accent? It seems to be missing.
Joe froze and looked like a deer caught in the headlights.
So what's the real story here? Sounds like you had some explaining to do.
Well, my accent comes and goes. I used to live in Ireland and picked up the accent because I wanted to fit in and...
Bang! A gunshot rang out. Sherbert ducked and turned toward the location of the sound and saw an old beaten up black truck peeled out and took off down the road. Sherbert turned back to Joe to see him lying on the ground with a gunshot. Sherbert runs to him. A neighbor walked out of the front door and looked toward Sherbert.
Call the police!
Sherbert turns back to Joe.
It's going to be okay. It doesn't look bad. You just need to walk it off.
Sherbert. You'll never find Edna.
Sherbert, in shock for a second, decides to pat down Joe for the keys to take a look inside his vehicle before the cops arrive. He opens the trunk, and the only thing in there is a photo of Shiprock, and the bottom right of the photo is burnt.
Isn't this what the police say is left at every crime scene? Was he working with the Shiprock Strangler?
This is a work of fiction. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, business, places, events, and incidents in this story are either a product of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely accidental.